Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to a new video here. So today we're going to be talking about the recent Israeli attack on Iran, which has been anticipated for several weeks now following the October 1st missile barrage by Iran into Israel. So I know we talked about the possibilities of the attack, whether they would strike oil facilities or nuclear facilities, and as of now, those have not been struck. So that's a pretty major development right off the bat. The oil and nuclear facilities were not hit, but there were numerous military bases all across Iran that were struck by Israeli missiles. And another interesting thing, guys, the big difference from the Iranian attack in Israel, there was no Iranian aircraft in the airspace in Israel, for example. But this was very different. The Israeli jets were conducting this attack in Iranian airspace. So that's also very important and key. Now, according to the first reports coming in, because again, it takes a couple of days to get the details on how significant the damage was. Well, we do know 5 Iranian soldiers were killed in this. So, I mean, that's pretty significant, guys. An attack by a foreign country where 5 soldiers die is pretty significant. And even when you have, in Israel, for example, there is no casualties, I believe. So that's another interesting thing of note here. It seemed as though the Iranian-controlled state-run media was trying to minimize it initially, saying it didn't really do much. And initially, it seemed as though they had done some damage, but it was only to targeted military bases. But based on a lot of the satellite imagery we're getting now, we're seeing pretty significant damage to a lot of military bases all across Iran, pretty widespread geographic locations, including missile storages and missile warehouses. Now, and as I said, in the beginning, it seemed as though they were trying to minimize it. But now we see a kind of a change in tone. The supreme leader of Iran has been putting out on social media, as well as a lot of the state-run press is saying there will be a response, and there will be a decisive response. So here we go again, guys. The tit for tat is not over. Iran is going to respond here. And another thing about the Israeli attack, it seemed to strike a lot of air defense targets. So a lot of speculation is, oh, they're clearing the groundwork for a second attack after Iran responds now, which they'll actually strike oil facilities potentially or nuclear facilities. Now, that remains to be seen. Now, according to other estimates, it's also because of the damage that the Israeli military did on a lot of these Iranian missile storages and sites, they might not have the capacity to do a major attack on Israel. Or at the very minimum, it might take some time, which is pretty interesting. I mean, I'm not sure how much I believe that, but it's unclear. But the big thing is, no oil and nuclear facilities were struck, but there was widespread damage to a lot of Iranian military facilities, and Iran is going to respond. That's a certainty, it seems. How significant it'll be, when it'll be, that remains very much unclear. But it seems as of now we avoided the worst-case scenario. But again, as I said a couple weeks ago, we continue to go up the escalation ladder, and it just continues to get dangerous. I mean, it seems that the next course of action, and again, take into account, guys, we have the missile batteries, the U.S. deployed the THAAD missile defense systems in Israel to repel a potential Iranian attack or retaliation. So, again, we'll see. Will it be before the election? My guess would be no, but who knows? But yeah, interesting times, guys. The Iranian attack, there was some damage, but it does not seem as though we had a worst-case scenario operation yet. But this tit for tat will continue, and we'll see what happens in the coming days, guys. But there's no question the world still remains on very dangerous footing. And I think the main development is going to be, is Iran going to get a nuke or not? And will Israel allow Iran to get a nuke? I just don't know if that's likely. All of the indications are from the Israeli government that they're not going to allow that. And it seems as though they're pretty close. Within the next couple of months, they might have one. So I think at some point this is all going to come to a head. And there was another report coming out of the New York Times that the supreme leader of Iran is actually pretty ill. Who knows how accurate this is? This could just be propaganda of sorts, but it's unclear. But again, the guy's very old. I believe he's in his late 80s. So should the Ayatollah die, they would probably have a successor in place. But I'm sure the Israeli military they have defense plans for it to repel an attack. Would their next attack be followed immediately by an Israeli attack? Again, remains to be seen. But what you guys need to know is military sites across Iran struck, but worst case scenario avoided. So that's what I got for you guys today. We'll probably come out with a video tomorrow at some point, but yeah, that's what I got for you guys now. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.